political drumbeats and trumpets are beating and blowing so loudly as the journey towards the 2027 general elections gain momentum like no other. Welcome to the Governance Gazette TV, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and to the subscribers, I am greatly humbled. Now, if there is one person who has been steadfast in advocating for the position of the ODM party in the Raila ODINGA broad-based government, is none other than Edwin Sifuna, the Secretary General of the ODM party.
Which is why I'm saying, by dint of the law as it is today, Aladwa and his colleague here are deemed to have resigned from ODM. They are now, for all intents and purposes, members of UDA. Now, this particular party, just a minute, let me read the law. This particular law anticipated what Ogenda is trying to tell us here. There is a condition under which you are allowed to do these things even when you don't belong to that political party. Political parties are not formed to win court cases. Political parties are formed to win power. So if you are a political entity and you count your victories as the number of times you have argued before the Supreme Court, you are an NGO, you're not a political party. I am preparing ODM for 4 by-elections, and I have run a total number of 1 general election and at least 10 by-elections. Trevor, you were there with me. In all of those areas, from Kwale to Matungu, all of those places, there is no presence of Third Way Alliance. So when he talks to us about victories in court, fold your party and form an NGO, Ekuru court, that's not why political parties exist. So for us as ODM, we will count our victories not in the courts. If Ekuru court, you ran alone, I am telling you, you would not meet the threshold to be elected as president, because your votes are known. They are 18,000. You understand? So please, don't come here and tell us about ODM and being selfish and so on and so forth. So I want to be very clear, Trevor, that for me, these things they say that I am stuck in old positions, that I am too independent. It's called values. And if you don't stand by your values when they are being tested, they are hobbies. You would rather stop calling yourself somebody who believes in values. And this party that is called ODM, until and unless you have complied with the law on how you can interact with other political parties, I hold the position that we are in a very good place as ODM to form government in 2027. There is nothing that stops us. We have alliances with people who are like-minded, people who believe in the things that we believe in. We can walk the journey with those same people and win the election. Okay. So these people who are selling off the opportunity for ODM to form government, you have to ask what is their motivation. So we are giving our views. We are giving our views. I have said my piece, Trevor, that it doesn't matter what is said. I will not be voting for William RUTO. I have said it. That's my choice. That's my democratic choice. And nobody can force me.
Okay. Trevor. Yeah.
That is Edwin Sifuna on one of the mainstream media this morning. And Sifuna is categorical that there is very little the president can do to save his presidency. Sifuna is just not any other ODM member. He has been the Secretary General of ODM for over 7 years, and therefore what Edwin Sifuna says cannot be taken lightly. Raila ODINGA is one shrewd politician, and I am yet to come across any single politician in the contemporary Africa who matches the mobilization skills of Raila ODINGA and the energy he exhibits. Professor Herman Manyora normally says that indeed Raila ODINGA is a spirit. I will not be surprised if Raila ODINGA vies for presidency in 2027. Raila ODINGA has always been a pro-people person, and the president is now on crossroads, bearing in mind the Raila ODINGA AUC laws, and therefore he must work day and night to maintain Raila on his side, because the Gachagua camp might as well poach him away from him. And if the Gachagua camp poaches Raila away from William RUTO, he will have a very difficult time in defending his second term. All said and done, let's collaborate Edwin Sifuna's sentiments with what the Nyeri residents had to say when Raila lost the AUC seat.
Mi kuanguka kwa baba kumenifurahisha sana. Juu mimi nilikuwa najiuliza, kwani huku hakukuwa na mwana youth Kenya ingesimamisha support juu huyu mzee miaka yake imeenda sana. Na sisi tuko na furaha juu huko ni kama alikuwa ameenda kufishwa na huko. Ndio siasa huku kwanza iwe imerudi nini chini. Sisi tuna furaha juu sasa kimeumana. Juu hiyo ndio tulikuwa sisi tunaga. Juu sina zote damasi zilikuwa zimetengenezwa. Sasa tunajua zote maba kuisha.
Tumefurahi sana na ndio unasikia tunapiga sababu Mungu ameturudishia baba. Sasa tunataka baba akuje aingie parliament, sababu wao ndio wako wengi. Sasa tunataka akuje asimame kama vile alikuwa anasimama. Yeye ndiye alikuwa anaona watu yeye atatoboa siri vile kule watoto wetu wanaenda. Kwa hivyo tunamkaribisha sana na tunamtaka sana. Karibu nyumbani baba.
Sifuna, closing remarks.
It doesn't matter how much time you give Ojienda and Aladwa. They will never persuade me that that Ruto is good for the country. In fact, time is up. There is very little that Ruto can do in the intervening period to save his presidency. And he knows it. That is why his allies are speaking the way that he does. That is why he is insulting the public and telling them off every turn he gets. Told us that he has a PhD and nobody should lecture him on anything. I've never seen a PhD who hangs out with class 2 dropouts, because what you do then is that you reduce the average intelligence to at least class 8. If you are just surrounded by, they say birds of a feather flock together. How are you a PhD hanging out with Sudi? That cannot be true. So we want to tell him we might not have PhDs, but we know how we feel about our country and where the country needs to be. And we will say these things, Trevor. Nobody will scare us. Nobody will threaten us. As I've told you, there is nothing that I have today that you can take away from me that will result in me dying or something. No. For as long as you don't cut off my head, it doesn't matter. I will speak the truth as I see it. And I will say the things that I have to say, because these are the things that people are telling me to say. I don't represent myself. I represent over 2.5 million voters here in Nairobi. I don't know how many judges Ekuru represents on this show. Because his stronghold is the Court of Appeal.
Gentlemen, thank you for making time.
No, that's your court of, you are just a Court of Appeal expert.
Sifuna, Nairobi Senator, and Dr. Ekuru Court.
From those two clips, you can clearly tell that Raila ODINGA has been caught up between a hard rock and a stone. Will he support William RUTO to revenge for those celebrations in Nyeri, or will he ride on that opportunity where the mountain has realized his worth, notwithstanding the fact that the mountain has fallen out with William RUTO, and go for the presidency in 2027, the same direction Edwin Sifuna is alleging? However, can the mountain really vote for Raila ODINGA if he stands for presidency now in 2027? Listen to Martha Karua.
The 69 oath, 1969 oath.
Explain.
Where all people of Mount Kenya excuse me, are trooping to Gatondo, to Jomo Kenyatta's home, to take oath. And where even school-going children are being asked to take oath. So I come home for holidays, and I'm told that even my younger brothers walked to go and take oath. The oath was being given at Kabare, so people were walking the 8 kilometers. A whole school, the people of age would walk.
And what was the oath?
The oath, as I had it then, was to say for those of us from the mountainside that the presidency will not go beyond Mount Kenya. It will not go especially to the Luo Nation.
Oh my God, this is
Wamera, you know?
Yes.
Martha Karua says that the 1969 Kikuyu presidency oath stated that the presidency will not go beyond the mountain, especially to the Luo nation. And that's why the Luo and the Kikuyu rarely vote in one basket, except in 2002 when Raila ODINGA endorsed Mwai Kibaki. Do you think that this is the best opportunity for the Luo and the Kikuyu to break that oath and support Raila ODINGA in 2027? Can the mountain vote for Raila ODINGA? Let's wait and see how things will unfold. A day in politics is 100 years. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye.